How many crimes has Kiu Trin committed? And what will the organization think if they find out? I am Kiu Trin's brother. Sooner or later, the organization will always trust you. Kien, from the time Kiu Trin was still a schoolgirl, she voluntarily became the spiritual child of the French officer. I have reminded you to be careful, and not to let Kiu Trin fall into crime. 2 sisters, one follows the French, and the other is a communist. This is also a pain shared by many Vietnamese families when they do not share the same ideals. Because of the desire for vanity, many Vietnamese have become henchmen for the French and Japanese to oppress their own compatriots. Kien talked about his family. His older sister always wanted a life like the white people and treated the French officer like a foster father to enjoy privileges in life. His mother was a merchant who only wished for her business to prosper, not realizing that she was betraying her own daughter. Meanwhile, her daughter was betraying the country. She always wanted her husband to entertain the French officers to facilitate obtaining the license to become an opium trade agent throughout Tonkin. However, before she received the license, she died. Kien's father was always engrossed in his books, and he feels very fortunate to have met Nu, who has helped him understand many things. The morning sun salutation of the Japanese officer was like a ritual reminding him of his homeland, Japan. Kiu Trin initially supported the French, but after France's defeat in Vietnam, she sided with the Japanese. Sir, starting tomorrow, allow me to greet the morning sky with you. I have redecorated the room in an East Asian style. Do you like it? Yes. I hope these small items will please you. The French colonial administration, built over the past 80 years, is now being dismantled by the communists. Can you help me rearrange it, like how you rearranged this apartment? The Japanese do not appreciate appearances, but value reality. Tonight, you must explain all the locations you have grasped. Let me reconsider. I am of the martial arts lineage, so I always have a sword over the woman. The appeal from a woman within the communist organization has awakened all layers of the working class. The Germans have unconditionally surrendered. This is the time we must liberate ourselves. Trust in the guidance of the Viet Minh. Trust in the strength of our proletariat. The electricity source of Hanoi today is in the hands of our workers, not the Japanese. Every action of ours is to defeat the Japanese. The moment for complete independence for Vietnam is approaching. Overthrow the Japanese aggressors. Support the communists. Vietnam will be completely independent. The strong movement is present in all provinces from North to South Vietnam. It is supported by the overwhelming majority of the population, and the morale is very high. She is a worker in my factory. I thought she was on maternity leave. I didn't expect her to join the revolutionary movement. She's really good. Before presenting the list of suspicious locations, I would like to express my honor in having this closed meeting with the officers of the Imperial Japanese Army. They just paid on Saturday afternoon. We have to try to keep them in the factory a little longer, so I have time to tell the workers to prepare and be on guard. They will have the army sweep the neighborhoods around the factory to scare the people. Be careful.
Thế nào chứ khủng bố các phố quanh nhà máy để rồi. Bình tĩnh nhá.
The Japanese searched the areas around the power plant for traces of the Viet Cong, and most of the families were searched. This is Keen and Kiu Trin's father. After his wife died, he lived alone and read books every day. The father and son met each other in very dangerous circumstances. He was very worried about Keen because he knew his son was a communist. How could he have gotten in here? Go change your clothes and sit down with me to write your thesis. Even if the Japanese army comes in, they can't arrest you too while you're just sitting there writing. There is one more person going with me, Dad. This is a revolutionary comrade in my hometown during the famine days. It's dangerous out there. Your father can't keep calm. You stay here with him. I'll go. Keen doesn't want men to go, but she's a strong woman, she said. Can't let you get caught and can't lose your gun. We still have an appointment to meet Miss New. Have you forgotten? Before meeting Miss New, I'll decide everything, and you have to obey my orders.
Cháu chỉ là con bé quê mùa, ở đây không ai biết mặt cháu. Chỉ cần ông nhận mua cho cháu tấm bạc là cháu có thể ra khỏi nhà ông, mà không ai có cưỡng bắt cháu cả.
You change your clothes. I will go out so as not to be discovered. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. You bring these guns back to the base. I will find a way to get back the guns hidden at Keen's house. At this time, New was nearing her due date. The base sent someone to inform her to stay home for a safe delivery. However, being a strong girl, she still wanted to complete one important mission before giving birth, which was to bring the guns from Kien's house back to use as weapons for the revolution. During this period, Vietnam was not yet able to produce its own guns. Most of the weapons they had were seized from French and Japanese soldiers. They could only produce very rudimentary weapons themselves. If there is any noise, use this path to escape, okay? I was ordered to study far away. Before leaving, the base asked me to bring some supplements for New. From now until she gives birth, New will return to the base for proper nutrition. And especially, she must not bind her belly anymore. Brother Tien, Yesterday, a woman in the task force informed me my husband, NHA, escaped from prison, but was unfortunately caught and brutally tortured by them, making it difficult for him to survive. Were you also planning to inform me about this? Nu must take care of her health, not only for NHA and herself, but also for the baby. Yes, brother, the guns that the city committee sent us are at risk of being taken by the Japanese. Please let me handle the matter with the guns first. Then I'll take my maternity leave, okay? To carry out the plan of retrieving all the guns from Kian's house and bringing them back to the base. Nu, with her pregnant belly, disguised herself as a B&H Kun seller along with a small girl. B&H Kun is a popular rustic dish loved by the Vietnamese. With her skillful mouth, the girl selling Ban Cuon quickly won the trust of the patrolling soldiers. She introduced that this was a specialty dish of her hometown, Than Tri Ban Cuon, which is famous for its deliciousness. You must definitely try this dish if you come to Vietnam. Oh, what a boring day. The rice rolls were delicious, but they were missing lemon. Without lemon juice, it was really disappointing. I want all the guests to have a good meal. Oh, I have a friend's house nearby. Daughter, please go there and ask for some lemons for your mother. Can someone show my daughter the way there? Let me. A strong mother and a brave child amidst so many soldiers armed to the teeth. Yet they didn't frighten the little girl after she arrived at Kien's house to get the guns. Nu found a sudden excuse to leave while these soldiers were still eating. When the Japanese officer arrived and was about to inspect, the little girl calmly and cheerfully sang a song in Japanese. This made the soldier forget all caution before this innocent and lovely girl. The girl's idea was spot on. The Japanese officer left, creating favorable conditions for Nu to enter Kien's house and get the guns.
Lần sau phải cẩn thận hơn. Bạn thấy đang thiếu súng, có khi 2-3 đồng chí hy sinh mới kiếm được một khẩu. Chị đi nhé, cho chị gửi lời thăm bác. Nói với bác là
So they successfully retrieved the guns back to the base without encountering any danger. The brave girl was then assigned another mission to communicate and inform the National Rescue Workers that there will be a meeting tonight.
Cháu đi báo công nhân cứu quốc họp tối nay nhé. Anh muốn sao đội trả thuế đây? Ai đánh cuốn hả?
3 escaped prisoners had just been captured and fled to this area. Therefore, this was considered an important location that the Japanese suspected. Without needing to ask, this Japanese officer shot them right there. The women who witnessed this incident were very concerned for the Viet Minh organization, especially for Nu, whom they know is a communist. They are trying to find a way to inform her to heighten her vigilance. Don't go home. Your husband and Hoa just returned. Come here with me. My husband is back, isn't he? Yes, but before you could meet him, he was shot dead by the Japanese soldiers out there. What happened, sister? How is he? She turned her sorrow into strength. She suppressed the pain of losing her husband and continued to carry out her important mission. She handed over the guns and the mission to MN. Tonight, they must destroy 2 Japanese rice warehouses. We must not let the local authorities give rice to the Japanese. This is a big task that you must do for me while I am on duty in the city.
có ngày con từ Kawasaki.
Kiyu Trin discovered that Nu was a communist and was trying to hide something. She immediately sent someone to report to the Japanese army to arrest Nu. Even though she was pregnant, they did not show mercy to her. She was beaten in the stomach and passed out in the car. Kiyu Trin was pleased, thinking that she had done something for the Japanese army. But the people around saw the injustice. They gathered together to criticize the cruelty of the Japanese army when they tortured a pregnant woman so brutally. Hearing the noise, King quickly ran out to see, knowing that his sister had informed him. He was very angry and scolded her. Immediately, the Japanese officer shot him twice. He fell to the ground. Kiyu Trin was now frightened and cried out, "You have killed my brother." The pain of a father when seeing his child shot dead. Kiyu Trin did not dare to approach Keen and look into her father's eyes. She hid, avoiding his gaze.